Welcome to your worst nightmare. There is no escape. There is nowhere to hide. You are in my control now. Welcome to hell, motherfuckers.
Yo, and welcome to hell, everyone. Welcome to the podcast that is going to stick tighter to you than Gorilla Glue stuck in your hair. This is the most shittiest podcast in all of the podcast hemisphere. Welcome to Let's Talk About Horror with your boy, Walterdoom. And I am back for another episode where I am going to give you guys all the latest news that I like, and I am going to rank the latest Into the Dark series movie, Tentacles. So yeah, if you guys aren't following me on social media yet, those social medias are Walterdoom on Instagram, Walterdoom1 on Twitter, and Walterdoom on everything else. So I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. Last week's episode was the Valentine's Day episode, and we were talking about the movie Misery with my co-host, Dimey Horror and Megan's World. And yeah, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it because
Walter baby, how you doing?
Hey, welcome back, Producer Doom.
Yeah. I don't need no introductions. You know, I own the damn thing. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you do.
Walter,
You pretty
baby,
much
you know,
do.
I did enjoy the whole Valentine's Day
Oh, thank
episode.
you.
I mean, it's doing pretty good. I'm seeing some good numbers on YouTube. Anchor,
Yeah, it's decent numbers.
So much, you know, hey, we need to get them numbers up. But anyway, Doom.
We do need to get
I want to
Anchor up,
tell
though.
you, I really do enjoy the show. I wish you would talk more about things than besides horror, but I mean
that's
I
the
guess,
premise of the
It is
show.
what it is. I mean, I just want to say is that we're gonna do a little celebration tonight. You know,
Celebration. All right.
me and the boys,
Okay.
me and the girls,
Okay.
whoever wants to join the party, snort coke and whatever else they want to do.
Okay.
But anyway, I want to introduce to you a new intern.
Oh, an intern.
We just
Okay.
hired her. She's highly qualified. She's really enjoyed broadcasting and whatever.
Okay.
You know, and she's done like, you know, a few things in the podcast sphere here and there, you know, whatever, you know. Hey, by the way, how's that Megan girl, by the way?
I mean, she's
you
cool.
know, and how's that Dimey girl?
She's cool
you know,
too.
I mean,
we're all
Some
just
real
friends,
cool
you
girls
know.
right there, you know. But
Yeah, they
anyway,
are
Walter,
cool, but,
baby, I like you to meet S.She.
Okay.
You know, she's a new intern. She's graduated from USC and whatever.
Oh, not
you
bad.
know.
Not bad. Not a
And I really do
fan.
like what I see on her resume so far. So yeah, let's just yeah, girl, why don't you introduce yourself to them?
Hey, Doom. Hey.
So
hey.
I'm S.She. I
Okay.
went to USC. I majored in broadcasting, and I really do love what you're doing with the show.
Oh, thanks.
I
thanks.
really like the fact that you are like one of the black content creators for like something like this, you know, trying to show like how black people could really like horror, and I really do like horror myself. That's why I was very excited to like join the
She's
show
the
and
next
everything.
victim.
I mean, I gotta say, I really do listen to you a lot.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Ever since maybe like the third episode, and I'm just like a fan girl all the way.
Don't get too close.
So,
Yeah.
I really do like what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
I just am glad to be part of this team.
I'm glad you're part of this team too.
Wait to like, see what else we do with this show. Like,
Just like the others.
Others?
that
What are you talking
weird
about?
guy, that ultimate horror guy.
Just like the others.
I am so glad for this, and I can't wait to like, you know, kind of help you out.
Remember.
I'm gonna help like,
Remember.
whatever.
Remember.
You know, just let me know. You know, because yeah, I'm here to help.
All right. That's enough, Ashley, baby. You know, let the boy get
used to having someone else helping him around with this thing that you calling the show and whatever. I mean, we could call it a show. I don't know what the fuck this is, but anyway, Walter, baby, as she's here to help, she'll help you wherever she can. Girl, you're gonna do a splendid job being part of this team. Walter, if you wanna, get some drinks, snort some coke, do some heroin, I don't know, bro. Whatever your choice of drugs are, just know that it's available to you, and yeah, just make me some money because I need to buy more booze pretty soon. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I'm glad you're not going crazy this week. I'm just glad. But anyway, Walter, baby, we'll talk. Just continue on with the show. Okay. Thank you, Producer Doom. And Eshi. This show feels like it's getting a little crowded, but anyway, for everybody else, we are about to get into our first segment called The Cut. Alright, for our first story of the day, and please, on the grave of Wes Craven, let it not be true. But Tate Taylor, the creator, director of Ma, is possibly talking about a sequel. So he did an interview with Entertainment Weekly, and it was about the movie Ma. So here are some quotables from the interview. Can you believe how much Ma lives on? Isn't that just crazy? I don't think we thought Ma was going to have this afterlife as this cult thing, and I think it's worth discussing a sequel. Taylor explains, I know Octavia would do it. That's why I purposely left her death ambiguous. I really don't know how ambiguous it really is when she literally died in the fire, Carrie White style, but I mean, okay, sure, Taylor. He continues, my idea is that she moves to another town and she has an open house in another city and kills people in the open house. I think she'd be a real estate agent in the Pacific Northwest and just murder white people looking at McMansions. So anyway, long story. I mean, to me, I'm like, y'all should know how I feel about Ma. I mean, if you listen to World of Doom, you guys would already know, like, that movie wasn't worth shit. Like, that movie was so weird. It was so cringe. I don't even know why we're doing this just because a movie got box office success. And obviously speaking, I mean, I would think, like, there will be more context to movies like this, but yeah, no, I'm gonna have to say we gotta not let this happen. In our next story, there is going to be a Velma adult animated series. I don't know who else is excited for it. I am very excited for this one. This is going to be a new show that's going to be on HBO Max. Mindy Kaling is going to be the executive producer for this show. And she's actually going to play Velma herself. Well, she's going to voice the character. I, for one, am very excited to see this show. If it's anything like the Harley Quinn show, I am all over this show. Because the Harley Quinn show is fucking hilarious. My goodness. I mean, a show where they basically make fun of the Batman universe and just flip it and perverse it on its head as much as possible. I was all over that. So if Velma is anything like Batman, that means like we could possibly get Scooby and Shaggy just straight up high all the time. We could probably get Fred and Daphne always banging and whatever, whatever they want to do with that storyline. But we're going to get Scooby and Shaggy high. I just can't wait. If they really do that, if they do what I think they're going to do with it, I can't wait for this to happen. Like, this is going to be fucking exciting. Fucking worth it. I mean, I can't believe, like, this is even a thing. I mean, the last time I actually seen the Scooby universe actually flipped on its head for somewhat in an adult experience was definitely on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, where Scooby and Shaggy, they were pretty much arrested for possibly being high, but they weren't high at all. They were just idiots. But I mean, that show could have literally flipped that whole idea of Scooby and Shaggy. They did flip on the Flintstones though. Like they made, I believe it was Barney. He was a mob boss. They really thought it was Fred Flintstone, but Fred was just dealing with like a bunch of personality disorders and what have you. But it was Barney who was the real mob boss and what have you. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's one cartoon they kind of like switched on its head a bit. But yeah, as far as that Velma show, I can't wait till that comes out. No date has been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure they're still in production for that show. Also, we don't have that much news to talk about, and this one is probably going to be like a little mini rant, but congrats to Jairo Bustamante's La Llorona for getting a Golden Globes nomination. But here's the thing, as good as it is for it to get a Golden Globe nod, I can't help but just feel like we need to stop judging horror in the same landscape as every other movie. Why can't horror get its own section? Like, I'm not understanding this. You know, for as long as the Golden Globes has been out, you would have thought by now they would have gave horror its own section. Now, let me start off by saying I am not an awards type person. I used to watch like a lot of Grammy Awards. I used to watch the American Music Awards when it used to be good, but you know, now it's just a popularity contest. I mean, to me, I'm like, the day Justin Bieber was actually winning awards for his crappy music, I was like, yeah, I am not with this whole award show anymore. So my thing is like, why are we still judging horror in the same realm as every other movies that are competing in this award show? It doesn't make sense at all. So for those that probably don't even watch the Golden Globes like myself, and I had to do a bit of research. So the categories go like this. They judge in movies by musical or comedy, which is one section. What I really don't believe that should be even as a section anyway. Drama, animation, and international film. Kind of bullshit because you're looping in a bunch of international films, putting them all together, and having them face off against each other. Yeah, in those categories, never have you heard me say action. Never have you heard me say science fiction. Nowhere have you heard me say romance. And whatever other genre that is not a subgenre, you did not hear me say, especially horror. Why are we judging all these films in the same category? It doesn't make sense. So, from what I was reading about the Golden Globes, is that depending on the overall tone of the film, that's usually what they judge the film by. Because one year, The Martian actually won for Best Musical and Comedy in the Motion Picture category. For the Golden Globe critics that were actually putting together the whole award, they said because they felt like The Martian had an overall tone of comedy, it was given that award. Not drama, not a science fiction award, but a comedy or musical. Now, I for one think that's like really bullshit, honestly. Apparently, like when the category for musical or comedy was created, it was created in 1952 because apparently they wanted to cover their whole basis of how many movies are actually getting nominated. Well, here's the thing, Golden Globes. If you're doing that in 1952, why not in 2021 come up with categories for horror movies, for action movies, for dramas, for everything? I am tired of seeing my horror films being judged in the same realm as The Notebook, as The Martian, because none of these films correlate with each other. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Golden Globes. You guys need to get that shit together. Why is my horror movies being judged in the same realm as Uncut Gems, as Roma, as The Berlin Girl, or Bolin Girl? I don't know, I can't remember what that movie was. Training Day, The Avengers, Justice League. Why are my movies being compared to those movies? And why are those movies being compared to each other? That's why I say, like, most award shows right now, it's just bullshit. It's honestly what it is. Like, I, for one, have stopped really holding award shows to the highest esteem because I, for one, know whatever I want or whoever I want to see nominated or whoever I wanted to see actually win the award, it's not going to happen. If I want to see an award being given to Nightmare on Elm Street for whatever reason, it's not going to happen. If I want to see an award being given to Saw, it's not going to happen. I feel like these award shows are so political, and it's definitely playing favoritism for whoever's playing along with the critics. So, yeah, I just gotta say, fuck the Golden Globes. But anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take my first break, and when I come back, we are gonna rate Tentacles from the Into the Dark series. It has returned, people. I can't wait to talk about that. So like you shouldn't say in the scary movie, I'll be right back. Dark series returns and continues with the second season and brand new holiday stories. First Chill is starting with the Valentine's Day installment Tentacles. In Tentacles, the movie explores two lovers, Sam, played by Casey Deirdrick, and Tara, played by Dana Drury, who meet at an open house and in turn develop a quick sexual relationship. In this relationship, the couple move into Sam's old family house in Los Angeles. When this happens, this is when the audience learns more about the titular characters' emotional baggage that they are hiding from each other. Although framed as a romantic horror, one of the detriments of this film is the pacing. The pacing of the story starts off really slow and plays heavily like a sexual romance horror story of Eyes Wide Shut. In the first half of the film, we learn about Sam's family trauma of his parents dying within the same year of each other, and Tara's toxic relationship with her stalker ex-boyfriend Grant, played by Evan Williams. As the story flows, we're lulled into believing that the villain of this story is Grant. But spoiler alert, which is one of the things this film does right, when Grant is killed by Tara, we are left with two main characters, which has the audience questioning, who should we be afraid of? Another detriment to this film is the uninteresting character development, like the aforementioned Eyes Wide Shut, where Tom Cruise's character becomes aware of female sexuality and empowerment. Sam is blindly in love with Tara and is blinded by her hypersexual nature before he learns that Tara is a tentacle demon who wants to steal his identity and resources. A plot twist that was weird and yet unexpected. Whether or not the plot twist works, it was an interesting idea, and the effects that showed that transition further it. Eerily looking like something from a scene in American Werewolf in London or The Fly, You see Sam's disintegration when his ears fall to the floor to illustrate there is something wrong with him. Being that this is the third Valentine's Day installment from the Blumhouse produced series, it falls short in many areas compared to the past films. In the first installment, Down, it was written as an interesting story of two strangers who became lovers, then became foes while stuck in an elevator. The main character, Jennifer Robbins, played by Natalie Martinez, had to overcome nice guy John Deakins, played by Matt Luria, who was stalking her, manipulated the stuck elevator situation, and psychotic murder attempt. In the second installment, My Valentine, the film is a dark, glittery look at female artist played by Britt Baron, who is escaping emotional, physical, and manipulatively abusing relationship with Royal, played by Benedict Samuel. In a Scott Pilgrim vs. the World style production, the film was an allegory on how women are never listened to or believed when speaking out against an abusive partner, but told in the metaphor of the misogyny in the music industry. Although Tentacles stayed away from the topic of toxic masculinity, which is the theme mostly Into the Dark movies are centered around, they opted for a slow-burning romantic horror where the payoff was very lackluster and underwhelming. Whether this is a film about moving too quickly with a new lover or not, Tentacles spend more time giving you fake-outs and dull character stories throughout the film. By the time the standout, which was the plot twist, the viewer, being me, was not interested in whatever this film wanted to deliver. For that reason, and it seems the only sole motivation for this alien was to fuck, I am giving this film 2.4 horny aliens out of 5, which is a disappointing canon score for a series that took a year and a half off because of the pandemic. So right now, because this is a continuation from the season, the rankings go like this if anybody really remembers it. I mean, it feels like it's been a while since we had this ranking, but right now the ranking goes as this. In number 11 is Midnight Kiss. Number 10, Uncanny Annie. Number 9 is now Tentacles. Number 8 is Puka Lives. Crawlers coming in at number 7. The Current Occupant comes in at number 6. Delivered coming in at 5. Nasty Piece of Work coming in at number 4. Good Boy coming in at 3. Pilgrim coming in at 2. And My Valentine is still topping the list for that season of Into the Dark. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and take another break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the slasher corner. And we are back. And of course, we always have our outro. This is the outro, and we always have the slasher corner. And right now, for our slasher corner movie of the week, will be Scream 2, because why not? I mean, the sequel that actually kind of almost outdid the original film. I mean, do I really need to go into any more details about this movie? I mean, we should have all seen it before, but if for some reason you have not seen this movie, I mean, go ahead and take the time out and check this movie out. It is on HBO Max. I believe the last time they had it, it was on Tubi. I don't know if it's still there or not, but definitely check out Scream 2. It's worth the watch. I feel like I don't need to go into details. Starring Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox when they were still married. Yeah, and you get people like Jerry O'Connell, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Dwayne Martin. I mean, just sprinkled out throughout the film. Elise Neal. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, Scream 2 definitely is worth the watch. Jamie Kennedy, almost forgot about him. Yeah, Scream 2. I don't know where else to go with this. But also, I am going to be signing out for the day, you guys. So yeah, if you are not following me on any social medias, those social medias are Instagram, Walterdoom, Twitter, Walterdoom1, and Walterdoom on everything else that is related to streaming. Other than that, I am signing out for the rest of the day. See you guys next week. And this has been another episode of Let's Talk About Horror. This is America. Don't let them catch you slipping now. Stay diabolical, people.
Peace.